says live. Okay. Hey, everybody. We're back again. HAUNCON2, The Wrath of Haun. I am here, and I brought a very, very special guest. Mitch, do me a favor. Tell everybody how to say your damn last name so that they can stop fucking it up.
Mitch Gerads. Hard G.
Gerads is not a hard last. I don't know. But, you know. So when people mistake my name, I get a lot of Haun. Haun. You know, like
I get that.
they kind of automatically. I get they often juxtapose the U and the O. But yeah, I'm always happy when people have names that really aren't that hard to say, but people, you know, mispronounce them, you know. So yeah, Mitch, glad to have you here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. You're all good, man.
Maybe I have to do it this way. Hold on.
How's that tech? Is it treating you well?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. All right. Let's try something. What's that?
Okay. So we're live, and we're having a little bit of technical issues. But you know what? This is technology, and this is just how it works, fellas, folks. All the people. We're going to see what happens. Okay. Welcome, everybody. We're working out a couple of little kinks right now. I believe Mitch is going to bot back in just a second. Thanks for joining us, though. I'm going to continue to stay live. Hey, and here's the deal. You were really only here to see me. I know this. So, you know, Mitch is all right, but he is coming back in. We're going to see. Let's.
How's that?
Hey, buddy.
All right.
You back?
It's not a live stream if there's not technical problems.
You know, that's very true. But you know what makes this live stream better than any other live stream?
What's that?
Old fashions.
True.
Yeah. And so I know that everybody is here for the cocktail hour because we know better than everybody else how to make an old fashioned. We're just experts at this point, right? Yeah. So why don't we do this? Let's get going. I'm going to actually step away from myself for just a second, and I'm going to get a little bit of extra ice right here. But I'll be right back.
Gotcha.
So why don't you tell people some interesting stuff while I'm gone, and we're going to be good.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. So this is a great way I've been meaning to make a video on how I make my old fashions for like 2 weeks now. I ramble on Twitter about it, and this is a good way to procrastinate further. So let's make an old fashioned. First step, flip your hat back around. So I've changed my recipe a lot. I used to be kind of complicated, maybe didn't know exactly what I was doing, but I've streamlined it. It's perfect. I can't steer you wrong. So first we gotta start out with a nice chilled glass. I got these cool ones from my mother-in-law. They look bigger than they are. There's only about that much space on them. They hold perfectly. They weigh like a ton. So get a good glass. Don't throw it in your Star Wars cup. Just don't. Then this is a new edition. Jeremy, can you still hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay,
we're all good.
All right.
Yeah, you go on.
It's weird talking into a microphone and hearing nothing in return.
Right.
So I just got this smoked simple syrup from Traeger, vanilla and clove. but it changed the whole game. It's magnificent. It's on Amazon. Just go to Amazon. Pretty much everything but the alcohol you can just order. It'll come to your house. You can make these in quarantine. It's not a problem.
I love it.
So you got your chilled glass. You got your simple syrup. You got a standard bar spoon. And all I do is I put one bar spoon, but kind of like overflow it a little bit. And as soon as it starts to overflow, then you can dip it in there. Maybe add just a tiny bit more for the hell of it.
I like that.
But you don't want to use a lot, because that will not be good. Next up, a couple dashes of Angostura bitters. These are available at any grocery store, very common. The best bitters I've ever had, actually, were Jeremy sent me some of his homemade ones, and I used them immediately. They were gone in a week.
I love it.
I'm gonna have to get more.
You know, I know a guy who can hook you up.
All right.
Yeah. We'll work out something.
Just a couple little dashes in there.
Perfect.
Next up is the good stuff. So you can tell it's the good stuff because there's not much left. This is brand new to me. Charles Soule just got me on the mixtures, blah, 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 however you say it. But the US 1 bourbon is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going to put 2 ounces. I used to do doubles, and it threw everything off. And there's a magic of almost always when I'm drinking, it's my wife and I will make a cocktail, and then we sit down and watch a show or a movie or something. And there's something kind of magical about taking a little break and going making another one rather than having a big full one at the start. Plus, it's a little more classy. So you just drop that in there. Now, here's an important part. You need a big old ice cube.
Love it.
None of the just hundreds of ice cubes from your machine thing. They're super cheap. Again, Amazon. I used to do the all clear ones. It's this big thing. You make 4 of them, pour water in the top, and the bad stuff leaks to the bottom, I guess. But they take 24 hours or something to make. And so you always have to be prepared for the next day. And I just bought this, silicone mold on Amazon for $8, and it makes 8 of them, and it'll freeze them, in a matter of hours. And it's just the same. Just use filtered water. It's pretty clear anyway.
I like it.
But you drop that in there gently. That's kind of one of the nice things about having this glass that's shallow, is because you drop that ice in there and usually splashes back up at you because you have to drop it at some point. But these nice ones you can drop in there. Then you just take your bar spoon, give it 12 to 15 little turns. You kind of just put your bar spoon on the side of the ice cube and just move it around. It'll move it around by itself. You don't want to go too fast because then you lose all the good stuff. And then only one more step. You get yourself an orange. And you take a big old rip of it. Just one big, nice hunk of peel. And you just take that in your hands and just kind of squeeze it and get all that oils in there. Drop it in, move it around. Make sure you get the side of the glass. And you're done. You can drink that thing now.
That is gorgeous, my friend. Wow.
And I want to thank Jeremy here for giving me an excuse to drink earlier than I usually do.
Hey, it's after 6 here, buddy. We're doing well.
See, I probably come off as some sort of crazy alcoholic on Twitter because I'm always talking about drinks and stuff. And I have a drink every night, probably 2 on average. But they're these small ones. They're 2 ounces. It's always after my son goes to bed and we're just watching TV or I'm working. It's just something to kind of end the day and calm yourself, and it's nice and classy.
I like it. You know, we work really, really hard at all this, so being able to actually take a moment, pretty important, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So let's do mine.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So my version is not that different. A couple of little small things here and there. So I make my own simple syrup because it's simple. It's
Of course you do.
1 part sugar, demerara, 1 part water. It doesn't have the good smoke in it, not the cloves and the vanilla, but that's okay. We'll add that later.
Are you using demerara sugar or just?
Yeah. I use demerara and Fortunato or demerara. I kind of like both of them for different reasons.
Right on.
I just do a little squirt in there, right? And I'm gonna like you. I'm gonna add a little bit more. There we go. All right.
Nice.
We'll follow that up with a Luxardo cherry. Turn that the right way. And I'm gonna get, you can go crazy. I just need 1, and I want a little bit of that syrup in there, right? Now, people muddle stuff and they get all crazy. I don't do that. I just push on it a little bit with my spoon.
Yeah, exactly. I like that.
Now I'm going to take orange bitters. I like a little bit of Regan's. I make my own sometimes, but I'm out of that right now. So I'm going to do some dashes of that. Spill it everywhere as I go. Okay. And then, what are these? What is that, Mitch? Right there. Do you know what that is?
My feed is a little bit behind, so I'm waiting to see.
Yeah. This is my house bitters.
I was wondering, I'm looking at my iPad, but recording on my iPhone. So if I'm looking over here, that's why. Oh yeah.
Well,
those bitters.
Yeah.
I still have the mole and the chocolate ones.
Yeah. I
found a good.
I sent you a mole. I sent you a house and an orange. Yeah.
The house and orange is gone for sure.
Yeah. This is the house bitters, and I'm going to go in with a liberal bit of that. Right. So that's about 6 drops somewhere in there. All right. Give that a little bit of a stir. Give it a smell. That's pretty good. And now I'm going to take, and I've got a couple ice cubes right here. And I'm going to, I didn't chill my glass first, so I'm going to crack this ice. Okay.
Nice.
Looks fancier than it is. And then I suspected, I really suspected that you were going. I had Buffalo Trace. That was what I had here, which is a really fantastic. We get a lot of it in Missouri. It's about $22 a bottle typically, so it's a good budget one.
No, it's a good one.
But I suspected that you were going to break out Michter's. I could tell that it was going to happen. So so I brought out a bottle of my own Michter's.
Nice.
And I'm going to do a hearty 2-ounce pour of my own. I managed to not spill any of that time. I'm gonna go a tiny bit. I'm gonna go like 2¼ ounce right there.
Yeah, I have not mastered the now I'm even blanking on the word. The jigger. I've not.
Oh, yeah,
I spill everything everywhere.
I still spill most everything, but I'm getting a little bit better. Now, the secret ingredient, I'm going to go ahead and start giving this a little bit of a stir to kind of, since I didn't chill my glass, I kind of want to get this a little colder. But I'm going to show you I add a dash of Lafroy 10. I want that campfire, just a little bit of it. So we're talking just a few drops. There we go. Right in there. That kind of gives it the right kind of smoke without being a mess. And I'm going to stir the hell out of that. Now, I got ridiculous, and I started making my own ice. Still a little bubbly, more so than I would like. This was not a great batch. But I fill a cooler with water.
Yeah, I have some friends who do that.
For 24 hours. But then I get these huge 11 by 7, they're comic book size, like 11 by 17 blocks. I set it down, and I get those nice, huge. So give it a little more stir. I'm gonna taste. Oh, that's the right thing.
Nice.
All right. So I'm gonna pour that out right here. And my ice cube is so huge that it really looks like a much larger drink than it actually even is. Let's see a little bit of that. All right, a little bit of cherry. I'm going to try to go in and get my cherry back out of there. There we go. Drop that puppy in. And then, like you, I'm going to get a nice swap of that orange.
Nice.
And I'm going to go, I don't get as wide of a piece, but yeah. I also, this is a pretty sharp peeler. I don't get much pith on mine, which is probably a bad thing. I really want more. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to use a different peeler. There we go. Yeah. All right. There we go. That's good pith. Depends on the drink. In an old fashioned, because I want to do this next little trick, I like to have a wider strap. I'm going to light this. I'm going to heat my orange a bit, and then I'm going to express it. So you're getting that crazy flame. All right. Burn the piss out of myself.
See, I used to do that, and so it's the same problem I have with the smoking cocktails. Is as soon as I got a smoker, I smoked everything, and you can ruin a lot of drinks that way. And so I really like old fashions. I really like that brightness of the orange. So I backed off on adding any smoke to those.
All right, so there we go. You want to do the cheers thing, man?
Let's do it.
All right, ready? Let's do it.
Cheers.
3, 2, 1. All right.
Things of beauty.
You know, the only thing about this that that really is missing is the fact that I can't try yours.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't try mine.
HAUNCON sucks.
Yeah, well, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, so we're sharing a drink with you all. I don't know. Is anybody that's following the feed, what are y'all drinking?
So where I can see people's comments?
Yeah. Can you see them on there?
I don't. I just see me and you.
Well, that's weird. Let's get a quick rundown. David Marquez said, "What the hell happened to your beard?" So people are loving that we're making the drinks. Carly is being Carly and making fun of my ridiculousness. Yeah. Let's see. Ryan says that you need to come to Planet Comic Con in Kansas City. Please, please, you got to come to Kansas City. We will drink. We'll hang out with everybody. We'll get some good Jason Aaron and Scotty Young time.
All I know is that when conventions start up again, they're going to be insane. Like, I'm scared of them.
Yeah.
I was already a little scared of them, and now I'm very scared of them.
Yeah. It's I mean, so the last time that we saw one another was briefly at C2E2.
That's right.
Right before all of this happened.
The first and last show of 2020.
Yeah. Where you know, you guys had the rubber gloves. You were doing it as right as possible.
Okay, now I see people.
Ah, cool, good. Glad you're seeing stuff pop up. Yeah. So we've got wine and Diet Dr. Pepper on the menu. I approve all of those things. I say drink what you want.
Dave the Beard. I don't know. I get. My whole life I've always been sick of like having the same look for too long. And I was just going in to trim it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't regret it. I mean, I'm growing it back because I miss it, but I don't regret doing it. I've been able to eat food like a normal person. It's been awesome.
Have you had an ice cream cone?
Oh yeah.
Jesus, yeah, that's a game changer because you can eat an ice cream cone again and not have it just here. Yeah. Dairy beard is not a good thing. That's kind of the absolute worst.
Yeah.
I drink too fast. That's the thing with me.
This is totally for show because especially the first one of the night, I basically drink it before I get to the couch.
Yeah, it's there's something about that first drink, and it's good stuff. So let's see. Is this the comic creator version of the quarantine head shave? Yeah, I like that.
Going full Britney Spears.
Yeah, you gotta occasionally just go all in and don't take the eyebrows if you can keep the eyebrows, but shave everything else. Yeah. So we're getting a question about Strange Adventures.
Yeah, I saw that.
How's that coming along?
It's going awesome. It's funny because we got our comps of issue 2. Like, DC, you get your comps like a week before they come out. And so we got them, and then immediately that's when Diamond shut down. So we have issue 2. I'm selling it for $12,000. But no, issue 2 we're all the way up to, I'm like halfway through issue 5 right now. Nice. DC's been awesome. They're like super behind it, and they're just like, keep on going, because then when books start shipping again, you guys will just be on time.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Yeah. So
it's going great. Like I've done books, especially with Tom, that I'm like extremely proud of, but there's something magic about Strange Adventures. We're all trying new stuff, which I think is really fun. Both me, Evan, and Tom are all kind of trying things out of our comfort zone, which has been great.
I think that's always delightful and terrifying at the same time. You step outside of that comfort zone. Now, on this one, am I right that you are doing a lot of it with a hybrid method again? Like you're inking a lot of it?
Yeah, I'm doing a weird thing where all my backgrounds are traditional, but all the characters are digital.
That's weird. That's awesome.
My art dealer hates it.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine that. It's like these beautiful backgrounds, and then Batman's missing, or Adam Strange is missing. Yeah.
But no, it's just I knew a look I wanted to achieve, and I knew how I could do it traditionally, and I spent too much time trying to figure out how to do it digitally. And I was like, well, why don't I just combine them? Because it's a different look. My backgrounds are a different, I don't want to say style. They're just a different look than the foreground. So it was just easier to do them separate. And with digital, I'm more confident. So I wanted to keep the figures digital so I can undo.
Yeah. Well, I love the look that you're getting. It reminds me of a lot of like you get the cell shaded backgrounds, in
It feels very
cartoons.
much like animation.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's fantastic, and I love that we're to a point now where we can have an idea for what we're going for, and then very much build a method to that. We're not limited to 1980s style coloring or
Yeah, exactly.
something can either fully exist in the real world, partially exist, or be completely digital, and it doesn't really matter. It's the final product.
Yeah, exactly. I think
That.
that's been a thing that I think the industry has had a lot of growing pains with. Especially I think in the, like when I was in comics in the, early not in comics, but reading comics in like the early mid 90s, there was, always this big conception, especially with fans, that like, everything had to be traditional and drawn on the board, and anything else was cheating, and you couldn't use reference, even though every artist throughout history has used reference. So I think there's been some growing pains with that, but I think that's definitely changed in the last like 3-4 years of workflow, is that people realize like it's about the story, it's about the deadline, it's about getting that book out on time. It's not it's not necessarily about the making of it anymore. It's about whatever that finished product is, like you said.
Right. Yeah, no, I love that, and I love figuring out for yourself what you want your style to be, how you want these things to work.
And one of the reasons I switched to digital was that I found myself getting popular enough where like people wanted to buy my pages, and then I found myself making choices because of that, and I hated it. Because I'm such a storytelling guy that I hated that I was maybe changing something because I was trying to sell a prettier shot of Punisher or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was one of the reasons I switched to digital, because I no longer had to worry about it. But yeah, it's always bugged me when I hear, and I'm not knocking them per se, but it's always bugged me when I hear of artists who are like, oh, I won't draw that because I can't sell that. I'm like, that's not why we're here. There's other industries you can do if that's your game.
Well, I mean, just go for straight illustration. I mean, you can go and you can do illustration pieces, or you can, I mean, frankly, be a cover artist if that's all you want to do.
Exactly.
We tell stories because we're storytellers, and I would rather sacrifice the key shot and have 14 panels on a page to tell an important bit of business.
Exactly. Agreed. Cheers.
Right back at you. I think it's interesting that we're kind of in the same wheelhouse creatively. I noticed that I identified so much with your work and my process and how I do things. But I held off longer than you did going digital. I really fought it. It was one of those things where I cared about having the original pages. I wanted those. They were important to me, but I didn't develop the method that I'm using now until last year, and I feel like you took a step in the right direction ahead of me because you were willing to go, I'm going to use the technology to my advantage. I'm going to sit here and have that undo button. I can, if I can't nail this face, the first time, I'm going to figure out how to make it right. And sometimes I'm just, wherever I fought it, I penciled, and now that I'm actually doing a hybrid method using Clip Studio Paint for everything that I do, pencils, and inking traditionally, I'm getting the best of both worlds.
That's awesome. Love it.
So, Caleb asked, do you and Doc discuss what you're doing stylistically on your separate pages, or is the process relatively blind? Your components work insanely well
funny.
together.
For the most part, it's blind. When we get a script from Tom, there's a lot of blind parts to it because we both do the same thing and we both just found out we do the same thing. Is we get a script from Tom and we instantly go in, it's a Word file. We go in there and we delete all the other person's panels and pages.
Oh, really?
And then we just print out our own script and work from that. And the first issue and maybe the second issue, we didn't talk. We talk every day, but we didn't talk about what we were drawing the entire time. And we got all these really cool moments out of happenstance. But I think as we've gone along, we do more things like Evan will write me and be like, hey, what did you do for this panel? Because my panel's on that page and maybe I can find a way to bounce back. And
right.
So we've done a few things like that now. So now we're trading pages back and forth a little more.
That's interesting. I find it, I find it really special that the three of you are willing to work together like this. It takes, usually hubris takes hold and we're like, no, I'm working on this on my own. There's nobody else that's going to be involved. You're willing to work together. You're willing to experiment and have fun. And I think that the story really benefits from that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's easily, I think, all three of our favorite parts about doing the book is just seeing that bounce back and forth, especially when that issue comes out and you see it in paper. It just looks so cool and it's so unique. And man, I'm so impressed by Doc's stuff. He probably thinks I suck, but
of course he does. Yeah.
It's so cool. I set up all the pages for printing because I'm a total nerd about it. And so Evan sends me all his stuff and then I format it to send to DC. And so I get to see all that stuff as it comes in. And man, I'd say issues, I don't want to say it because issues 3 and 4 are super pretty, very pretty.
So is it a 50-50 split or how many pages are you handling?
On average it is, but that's not by design. So far it's just by happenstance. We told Tom early on that we didn't want any sort of influence on him as to how he wants to tell the story based on how many pages we want to draw. The only thing that we do want to do, it's kind of out the window now because of COVID and quarantine, but originally the plan was always, if I know I'm really busy with cons or family stuff one month, maybe you can give more pages to Evan or vice versa. But now because of quarantine, we're both at home working anyway. But yeah, we did. That was even my thing on Mr. Miracle. I never wanted to tell Tom to change how he was going to write something based on the making of the thing. Because for me, that final collection, the whole story, that's my goal. That's the aim. I want that to be perfect.
I love that. I love the idea that it's about the story. And that seems to be a theme that you keep going back to. It's about the final product. It's about the comic. I think it's easy to kind of go the other way, especially in modern comics. It's like the Attitude Era of wrestling. Where we is it about the creator or is it about the product? And I love that you're saying about the product.
Well, like it's also like I've been very fortunate to do these 12-issue things with Tom at DC because, as you very well know, like in this industry, like it's hard to be guaranteed 4 issues of an arc before it's taken away from you or changed or whatever. So knowing that I have 12 issues and nobody's going to do anything to me about it, like that's kind of that's a special deal, and I try to honor that as much as possible.
So you started out doing a lot of creator-owned stuff.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, the only creator-owned thing I've done, I believe, is the Activity over at Image.
You did the Activity for Babylon. I mean, it's the same.
Oh yeah. That's creator-owned, I guess. It's Vertigo creator-owned.
Yeah, it's creator-owned.
Yeah.
And then you moved into mainstream comics very successfully. Do you still have that creator-owned itch at all, or are you just happy where you are?
I am happy where I am. Not because I don't necessarily want to. It's just that I guess I don't have the idea. Like if Tom wrote me up and was like, "Hey, I have this amazing creator-owned idea," of course, sure, count me in. But right now we're just having so much fun doing all the playing in the sandbox. Oh, look at this guy. Can you say hi?
Hey, how'd you do?
Want to say hi? No.
See, my kids are off playing Xbox right now. They love that I'm not aware of anything they're doing. They're more into the idea that they can play Fortnite without me. That's where they want to be.
I think quarantine has gotten to our son.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to see it for a couple minutes here, but I brought out something. I'm going to need a refill, and this is what I've got. I got a little Blanton's. So I'm just going straight Blanton's for this next.
Nice. I like it. Man, there's a bottle of Pappy that is on the Drizzly app, which is like this app that you can order alcohol from local liquor stores. And it's just sitting there, and every day I check, and it's still there. It drives me nuts.
Is it 15? How much was it?
Yes. No, it's 1,200, but it's 15-year.
Okay. Yeah.
It's insane. I don't want to spend $1,200 on a bottle of Pappy, but also like, stuff's hard to come by.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Did your local bar send you a little bit?
No. So my favorite cocktail bar in town is this place called the Brickyard, and they're doing. I don't know if the laws are the same where you are, but restaurants can do like curbside pickup cocktails. So every week they open up a bottle of something good and sell little vials of it. And so last week was a bottle of Old Van Winkle.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got a buddy who a year ago I was out in LA and the timing wasn't quite right, but he was like, "Hey, I don't really drink a lot anymore, but when we did this production, they sent me a celebratory bottle of Pappy Van Winkle."
Nice.
And it's in my closet. It's just sitting there, but I'm only going to drink it if you and another buddy of ours come out and drink it with me.
Will do.
We're gonna kill the 3 bottle of coffee again.
Will do.
And then the coronavirus.
Yeah. That stuff is good. Like, it's I don't know if it's $1,200 good, but I've had a bit. I had some of the 20-year actually at a MegaCon last year. A fan came and gave Tom and I some. That stuff was tasty.
You know, I like the level I am in my career right now. I love making the things that I make. I tell my own stories. I tell them my way. The only time I'm ever really jealous of you, Mitch, is when someone loves you so much for what you do, they bring you a damn dram of coffee and weekly.
It's if you don't shut up about things online, eventually people want to share their nerd with you. So.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I do love that because of this this weird social media thing that we do. We get to share in stuff like cocktail nerd culture amidst comic book nerd culture. It's kind of beautiful.
No, it really is. Like I've learned so much in like the last probably 5-6 years. I've been in the industry for like 11 now, I think. And probably the last 5 or 6 years is finally when I kind of feel like I figured a lot of the actual industry out and like figured out fans and figured out conventions and figured out how people react to things. And it's pretty damn awesome. Like, here's this thing that we all like grew up with and we loved, and then we work on it and we come together and we continue to make it. And I don't know, it's super cool. I love being a part of this industry.
It's amazing. I mean, one of the themes that's run through this little goofy virtual convention that I've done, has been our love of comic books on the whole, but then fandom and the entire industry itself. I'm not a spiritual guy in the least, but I feel eternally grateful. I don't want to use the word blessed, but blessed. So blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. But I'm so grateful that I get to do this. I think that you and I deal with a similar thing where, we're table warriors, right? Like we're the guys that go and we sit down for the hours and we put the time in on the pages. You sit there for 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, or 12 hours, or whatever the hell it is. You do the work and you get the thing done. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes, we've messaged back and forth, like, you doing okay? You dying?
You know when it becomes harder? When you're a dad.
Oh yeah, no. Well, especially the age that you guys are at right now. That's it's not a thing sitting in a bassinet that it's a little baby burrito.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. You're fine. Here's your bottle. Here's that's a stage, and then the stage that I'm at, where you've got 10 and 15. Basically, they play Fortnite.
See, I was gonna say that's that golden age where like they can play by themselves.
Oh yeah, I know. But you're dealing with that thing where it's like all the personality starts.
Yeah.
They think you're really cool, which is great. That's amazing. But then they really need you at that point. A little tricky.
Yeah.
So, Dave mentioned that he hopes your back's feeling better. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
before we wrap up, I wanted to talk about mental and physical health while we make these things, because I break myself, you break yourself, because we love comics so much.
Yeah.
We love our fans. We love the people that we get to work with. We keep making these things. We have these big bowling ball heads that we lean forward and we ruin all of this. If I did some yoga, I'd probably be doing better. But you just had a really tough time with your back. Our friend, James McKelvey, we talk a lot about, what's
He's always got issues.
And we're developing, how old are you right now? Are you
38.
40 yet? Okay, so you're almost to hell. You're almost there. 40 shit and starts falling off of you. It's crazy how it's going to happen.
I feel it coming. It's been the last. Yeah, I don't know. I feel old. Like, especially you start feeling old when you have a toddler running around and they want to play something and you get winded 30 seconds in.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, when your kid's like, hey, because they're endless balls of energy, right? They can do anything forever. You think to yourself, you're like, I constantly with my boys was like, I'm gonna see if I can wear them out.
Yeah,
you can't wear them out.
No.
You never can wear them out. That's just not gonna happen.
No, they always have more than tank.
Yeah, and we're getting old. Are you making, with all this craziness, with the world being a bit weird right now, has it allowed you any opportunity to reset, taking care of yourself physically, taking care of yourself mentally? Are you thinking about that?
Never as much as you'd like. But I feel, so one of the things I've I don't know if struggled with is the right word, but is that the only thing that's really changed for me during all this is that now my wife and son are home every day.
Right.
But not a lot of quarantine has changed from my normal life. Besides little things like wearing a mask when I go out and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I finally, about 6 months ago, finally went to my doctor and was like, hey, I have anxiety. I want to admit that to you, and what can I do about that?
Right.
And ever since the back thing, I try to go to my chiropractor every week, every 2 weeks if I can. I try to go for walks. Often I forget.
Right.
Yeah, it's always on my mind because, in the best of days, so the best day of working is having all these hours of uninterrupted work, which sounds amazing, and it is amazing. But then at the end of it, you realize you can't move.
Mm-hmm.
And, and then on the worst days, you barely get any work done because you're dealing with whatever in your life because of all this. But, yeah, it's a struggle. It's always been a struggle. I think quarantine makes it more of a struggle. It's so interesting looking at social media, and I don't begrudge anyone for how they're handling quarantine, but it's so interesting to see how just how different age brackets and different if they have kids or not, if they're married or not, how everyone handles what they're going through. Or you've got the people who constantly talk about how bored they are and they've watched every movie they have, and it's like, man, I would love to watch a movie.
Right. Yeah, you were talking about video games recently, and I was thinking about that. Having kids that are the age that they are, video games is a shared language for us. but it's a shared language that only exists in very tiny increments.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I've got a half an hour at 9 o'clock. If both of you want to be on, we can play Destiny together, or we can play Call of Duty together, or Fortnite, whatever it is. And it's fantastic, but God, I want to be 20 again and sit there and wreck Final Fantasy VII. And like you, I have stacks and stacks of video games that have built up, and it's like I don't quite get those, and I want them.
See?
I don't miss that. Yeah, but you know what? I also do miss that.
I bet. I get it.
Yeah, because I know that dude at the end just kind of wants to hang out with you, and
that's exactly why he's crying.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. I know you need to spend some time with him, and I know that you probably have your routine that you're building too. Thanks so much for doing it.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for allowing me this.
Yeah. Well, no, this. I'm glad you got it early. I'm glad that I managed to sneak in not only 2.5 ounces of Michter's, but also a finger of bourbon.
Nice.
Blanton's. But Mitch, I appreciate what you're doing for comics, what you're doing for this industry. This is a weird time, and I love that you're continuing to make things. It means a lot.
Well, thank you, sir.
So I'm gonna let you hang out with your family a bit.
Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Yeah,
I need to do this more.
Yeah, let's definitely do this more. And if you need anything, I'm here. I'm always here.
Yeah.
Probably with a drink in my hand.
I love that. I mean, it's fairly recently, like in the last 3-4 months, where me and you have started texting back and forth about just normal everyday stuff, which I do with a few people. I do with Tom and Evan. And
Yeah,
it's great. It's so much fun.
I think that we are people of all the genders sitting in dark studios working for long hours. We are doing the best we can in the best of circumstances, and now we're in weird circumstances. I think it's important that we communicate. I think it's important that we have this kind of thing as much as we can. It makes all the difference in the world.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Thanks, brother. Take care.
You too.
Stay safe. Take care of yourself. If you need anything, let me know.
Right back at you.
All right. Talk soon, okay?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.